why Google is blocking content for Canadians, China interferes with the 2021 election, updates on the next mayor of Toronto, new music, and so much more. Welcome to 6 Minutes, the show that keeps you up to date with the 6 in minutes. I'm your host, Georgie. Let's get ready to these stories. Google is blocking news content for some Canadians in response to Bill C-18. Bill C-18, also known as the Online News Act, would require digital giants like Google and Meta to arrange deals that would compensate Canadian media companies for the republishing of their content. Heritage Minister Pablo Rodriguez introduces Bill C-18 as the Liberal government's latest attempt to support Canada's struggling news industry.
The news sector in Canada is in crisis. And this contributes to the heightened public mistrust and the rise of harmful disinformation in our society. So with this bill, we're seeking to address this market imbalance. We want to make sure that news outlets and journalists receive fair compensation for their work. We want to make sure that local independent news thrives in our country. So eligible news businesses will also be able to negotiate collectively, giving smaller news outlets in particular more bargaining power.
Google, who currently controls around 90% of all online web searches, have been vocal about Bill C-18, which is currently being reviewed by Senate. Google Canada Vice President Sabrina Jeremiah said in a November 2022 blog post, "As currently written, this legislation won't strengthen or sustain the Canadian news ecosystem and will make it harder for Canadians to find and share authoritative news online." Some Canadians will notice a change in their newsfeed for the next 5 weeks. How do you feel about the Online News Act? I would love to hear it down in the comment section below. Another big story this week was the CSIS leak allegedly verifying China's influence on Canada's 2021 election. The Globe and Mail broke the story after receiving leaked documents from the Canadian Security Intelligence Service concluding China intended and succeeded to meddle in our last election.
What we've uncovered is evidence that the Chinese state, the Chinese government, wanted to affect the outcome of the 2021 election. They wanted the Liberals to win. They did not want the Conservatives to win. They were very unhappy at Conservative policies on China, particularly a bid or a proposal to create a foreign registry, which would keep track of influence. And so they set about trying to make sure to defeat candidates, Conservative candidates they thought were unfriendly to Beijing, and to help the Liberals.
Whether the election was completely influenced or a tiny bit influenced, this is exactly the outcome that happened. Justin Trudeau admits to knowing about the meddling, but says there are inaccuracies in the document.
We have, like I said, known for a long time that China and others engage in foreign interference in Canada, including during our elections.
Justin Trudeau knew about this interference, and he covered it up because he benefited from it. He is perfectly happy to let a foreign authoritarian government interfere in our elections as long as they're helping him.
CSIS claims that this is the reason Han Dong won his riding. CSIS claims that the Chinese consulate sent busloads of Chinese seniors into the nomination meeting with Dong's name written on their arm. They also claim that Chinese students studying in Canada were given fake addresses and told to vote for Dong in the nomination meeting if they wanted to maintain their student visa status. Trudeau has yet to announce what parts of the leak he believes are false, and no steps have been made into investigating or cracking down on the now documented meddling. Many are fearful that if China does not see any repercussions from this, that it will open the floodgates for more foreign interference in the future. The battle for Drake's depot and the XXXTentacion murder case continues, but it looks like the battle may be over, for now. After an extremely goofy back and forth with a process server that dropped off the papers, the judge ruled again against the deposition of Drake.
Mr. Baird, can I ask you, and this isn't in an insulting way or anything, do you have issues with your hearing?
You have to repeat your question. Issues with my appearance?
No, sir. Issues with your hearing. Your hearing.
Hearing issues?
Yes, do you have any hearing issues?
You said hearing, right?
Yes, sir. Not herring. Hearing. No. There's no help that needs to be given. This is.
I don't know what your question is. Do I have issues with
hearing?
Yeah, he obviously does.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
But you have to slow down and be very clear when you say that word.
Yes. Sometimes I speak quickly. Do you have
don't find that the drop service in front of a security guard at a residence, which defense counsel purports belongs to Mr. Graham, but again, I don't have that evidence. It is correct that he is a Canadian citizen. He owns property here. I don't know that that's his residence. I don't know that that's a place that he ordinarily sleeps at. I don't know these things in order to be sufficient to come in and then ask for a rule to show cause or writ of bodily attachment. It's just not. I made my ruling. So
The judge told jurors that they can expect to have the case in their hands by mid-March. It's the end of an era. After 26 years, Teletoon, the popular Canadian television channel, is officially being discontinued. Many of you will remember Teletoon for shows such as 16, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, and so much more. Chorus Entertainment announced they will be rebranding Teletoon to Cartoon Network Canada. Cartoon Network Canada will be changing its name to Boomerang. Fans of the iconic channel can still watch their childhood favorites on Teletoon Plus. Police have issued a Canada-wide warrant for this individual that has been known to frequent various areas of Toronto. This individual is reported to be 5'5", 110 pounds, but will be most easily identified as a mix between Jared Leto's Joker and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Authorities are urging you to call him if you spot him, but one of these might also do the trick. New music this week. On February 24th, Astro Kid J and Little Beretta dropped Good Joloff. Check this one out.
Big truck, big boss, spins on my bumper, this watch. Only sex and codeine is the best drug. Drive me crazy, I love it, please don't stop. You can call on my name when you need me. Shoot a film and we put it on TV. Dance, while you waste it yourself.
On February 23rd, A.R. Paisley dropped Villain. Check this one out.
Yourself become the villain. I guess I am the villain. Double up my vision. Body bag these beats, you know I'll do that with precision. Bitch, I'm back in full effect. It's time to take care of some business. Eliminate these rappers that I put onto my hit list. These groupies really trying to trick me out of my position.
And on Friday, Drake and 21 Savage released a music video for Spin Bout You. Check this one out. All music heard in these episodes can be found in the Showcase Toronto Spotify playlist. The by-election to decide the next Toronto mayor is set to take place June 26th. If approved, nominations for candidates will open on April 3rd, and advance voting will begin starting on June 8th. According to City News senior journalist Mark McAllister, the estimated budget for the mayoral by-election is approximately $13 million. The ever-so-controversial Chris Sky seems to have taken the most aggressive campaign early, making public appearances and posting this video alleging a WSIB scheme by the current government. Who do you think is going to be the next mayor of Toronto? I would love to hear it down in the comment section below. A new report from TTC CEO Rick Leary says incidents of violence against riders were up 46% in 2022 compared to the previous year. The report states there were 1,068 offenses against customers last year compared to 734 in 2021 and 666 in 2019. This year, TTC has added 50 new city contracted security guards, 20 new community safety ambassadors, and 80 additional Toronto police officers in an effort to stop the violence. Currently, Toronto Police will not be able to afford the cost of the additional officers past March 20th, 2023. And that's it for this episode of 6 Minutes. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to tune in to next week's episode. One love.